Hello and welcome to SoftIQ Technologies. In today's video, we'll be looking at the download and installation of Odoo Enterprise version 16. This is the first video in our series covering Odoo ERP. Our objectives for today are the introduction of Odoo ERP, the prerequisites that are required for the installation of Odoo, download and installation of Odoo ERP. We are going to have a look also at the Odoo documentation. We'll also review the Odoo editions and hosting options, and we'll go to the conclusion. Now for the brief introduction of Odoo ERP. So in the 2005, Fabian Pinkers, the founder and current CEO of Odoo, started to develop his first software product. By that time it was called Tiny ERP. It was meant for the small and medium enterprises. 3 years later, the name was changed to Open ERP. The company started to grow quickly, and in 2010, Open ERP was the fastest growing company in Belgium. In 2014, the company was renamed to Odoo to diversify itself from the term ERP, and by 2021, Odoo products were used by more than 5 million customers. As an acronym, Odoo stands for On-Demand Open Object, which is an open source suite of business applications built to manage your complete business operations with modules for CRM, e-commerce, billing, accounting, manufacturing, warehouse, project management, and inventory management. There are far more modules than this, which you can get them under odoo.com. So the prerequisites that are required for the installation of Odoo. So Odoo currently has 2 editions available on the market, Odoo Community and Odoo Enterprise. We'll review the Odoo editions later. Odoo can be run on Windows, Ubuntu, Debian, or the Red Hat Package Manager, RPM. Odoo runs on Postgres SQL database, which is an open source object relational database management system released under the Postgres SQL license. It supports both relational SQL and non-relational JSON and offers advanced SQL functions including foreign keys, subqueries, and triggers. Odoo is developed in Python, which is an open source language that runs on all the major contemporary operating systems. So the below are the prerequisites needed to run Odoo. On Windows, you require a Windows 10 operating system. You require to have a Postgres SQL database. You require a database administration tool called pgadmin. You require to have a Python version 3.7. You require also Chrome and Mozilla or any browser to access the system. You also require an ID, for example, VS Code or PyCharm. So in the download and installation of Odoo ERP, Odoo releases a new version every year in October, and the current version is Odoo version 16. At any one time, Odoo supports the last 3 major versions, which currently is version 14, 15, and 16. When it reaches October this year, version 17 will be released, and now they will be supporting 15, 16, and 17. There are multiple ways to install Odoo. Below are the installation options. So there's an option of downloading it via online. This can be used for demo instances or Odoo online accessible via a browser. You can also use package installers, which is what we'll be using for today. There is also the source install, and if you use Docker, you can also install it under a Docker image. So to download Odoo, you just go to odoo.com. /download. You can come and set up, put the name of the company, your details. You can say you want to use it in your company or offer it as a service to other companies. So for this example, we are going to download the enterprise version. So when you click on download, it will download Odoo, but I had already downloaded it. So if I come here to my downloads, I can find it under programs. So I already have it installed here. So you just double click it and run it. So some of the prerequisites are mentioned, like the Postgres SQL, Python. Some of them are come installed when you install Odoo. So you just run the installation package. You choose OK here. Click next. You can read the terms, and then you can say I agree. So it will come and install the Odoo server, and it will install the Postgres SQL database. In a real life scenario, you may need to install the Odoo server and the Postgres SQL in 2 different databases. For our example, both of them I will install on this machine. You see next here. So Postgres runs on port 5432. You can leave it as default, and then you can install it on this path. So this is going to take some time to install. In the meantime, we can proceed with our presentation. So Odoo has an online manual, also called the Odoo Documentation. This online manual serves as a tutorial for users and developers covering user documentation for various modules, installation, upgrades, and development. The documentation is arranged per version. So to access the online documentation, you can go to odoo.com/documentation, or you can just search for Odoo 16 documentation. So in this documentation, it's arranged, for example, there's a user documents for the various modules. So under finance, for example, if you want to research or read more about expenses, you can be able to read here how to set up expenses. For our example for today, we require the install and maintenance. So here under install, it gives you the installation options we talked about: online, package installer, source install, and Docker. So for the package installer, there are those options available. I talked about Windows, Debian, and the RPM. Okay, so you can go to the download page. You have already done this. And also, in addition, you can be able to read how to do installation on Linux or on Linux Ubuntu or the RPM. So this material is quite helpful for users and also for developers. So about the Odoo editions, we mentioned there are two editions. There's the Odoo Community and the Odoo Enterprise. So what are the differences between these two? So for example, the license fee in Community is free. So there is no license fee on Community. But on Enterprise, you require to pay a license fee, which you can be able to find out the price per user from odoo.com/pricing. So from here, you can be able to see the options available. So there's a standard and then there's a custom. Also, you can be able to, okay, so another difference between these two editions, in the accounts module, in the Community, it has limited accounts module, where you can only do invoicing, payments, and basic bookkeeping. While in the Enterprise version, there is a full accounts module, capturing financial reporting, functions, balance sheet, profit and loss, drill down, and dynamic reports. Also, in the manufacturing module, the Community has a limited manufacturing module, planning their manufacturing activities based on resources, availability forecasts. While on the Enterprise, it's a full manufacturing module with work centers, control panels, scheduling capabilities, overtime based on demand forecasts. Also, another difference is multi-company. On Community, multi-company flows are not available. It does support multi-companies, but you are not able to, for example, raise a purchase order from company A and it directly appears as a sales order in company B. This feature is only available in the Enterprise version. There's a tool called Odoo Studio Customization. So studio customizations are not possible on Community. While on Enterprise, studio customizations are possible on screen customization, report designer, menu editor, and apps creator. Also, another example is, okay, this is still the installation. So another example of the difference between the two is mobile apps. So the apps on Android and iOS are not available on Community, while they are available on Enterprise. On the POS, there are no loyalty points on Community, while on Enterprise, there are loyalty points feature available on the POS module. Odoo does not support bugs, fixes, and upgrades on Community, while, as I mentioned, Odoo supports the latest 3 versions. In terms of hosting, you can only do on-premise and self-managed cloud hosting. While on Enterprise, you can have Odoo Online or Odoo.sh, which we are going to review in terms of the hosting options. Okay, So now here under the hosting options, Odoo Enterprise apps can be hosted on 3 different platforms: Odoo Online, Odoo.sh, or on-premise using your own infrastructure. So this is the differences between the 3 options. So under Odoo Online, you can be able to, this is software as a service, where you can be able to host the Odoo and the Odoo Online. So what are the pros for this option? So it's cloud-based. There is no server. It's ongoing. So it's cloud-based. There is no server maintenance required. 100% hacking safe. Migration included. Email server included. One of the cons is that on Odoo, the online, there is only Odoo standard. There is no customizations possible. Internet connection is always required as it's hosted online. Odoo apps only. There is no third-party apps. Then there is the on-premise. So on-premise is a hosting on local servers or cloud servers such as AWS, Contabo, DigitalOcean, or Linode. The pros for this is that the local installation, customization are possible, migration included, third-party applications installation possible, full control, full autonomy, and full responsibility. The cons here is that the technical knowledge required to ensure maintenance and backups and the safety of the data is upon you. On Odoo.sh, which is a third hosting option, is a platform as a service. The pros for this is similar to the on-premise, so it's cloud-based, no server maintenance required, 100% hacking safe, customization possible, third-party application installation possible, email server included, and automated backups. So for now, other than the cost option, there are no cons on Odoo.sh. So let's just check whether it has finished the installation. So we'll pause the video for now and then come back later. So the installation has finished. Click on next and then you can say finish. So it runs on port 8069, which you can also configure and change the port under the configuration file. I'll show you in the next video. So here you need to say, for example, you want to create a new database. You can change the master password. Say, for example, I can change this. You can give it a name. So we are just going to give it the name SoftIQ Technologies. You can put an email. You can give it a password. And then you can say, maybe you can just create the database. So this is initializing the database, and then it will come as a blank database, and you can log in with the email you've put and the password. Localhost. I will give it some few minutes. Okay, so now you can just log in here, and once it logs in, the enterprise version comes without any apps installed, and then you can choose the apps you want to install. Okay, so this is a blank database, so you can come here to apps and you can activate the sales module, for example. So the sales module activates all those modules: invoicing, project planning, email marketing. We'll continue in our next video the setup of the rest of the modules. So that concludes our video for today. We have been able to go through the download and installation of Odoo ERP version 16 on Windows. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. We welcome any questions or suggestions, so feel free to email us at info@softiqtechnologies.co.ke, and if you can subscribe and like our page, we will appreciate. Thank you.